and I said I was going to do a test of the machine, and I've just had a request to do a test video, so I might as well do one. I bought it last June or July. It was £11.99 in the UK Lidl store. I've just dug out the old book and I've realised there's the basic waffle batter recipe in there, but I've been using Jamie Oliver's recipe because it uses little sugar. It uses 1 teaspoon, whereas this has got like 200 grams, which I don't know what that equates to spoonfuls, but it takes about 2 minutes to warm up, so I'm going to turn it on now, and you get a red light that comes on, and when the green light comes on, that means it's hot enough. I use a spray oil, but you can just use like any oil, and I bought this thing which is like a silicone basting brush, which is good for getting into all the little squares on it. I've already made a rough Jamie Oliver recipe. I've done it by memory rather than looking it up, but it's basically 150 grams of flour, I think, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 large egg, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I think he recommends also putting some orange zest in it or something. You'll have to look it up anyway. Just another thing to mention, that Jamie Oliver recipe I told you by memory, I forgot to say the rest of it is milk to make it up to that consistency. There probably is a specific amount on his website or whatever, but I just do it until it gets to a bit thicker than pancake batter. What is it? If you don't want to use eggs and milk, I think you can use like a fizzy drink or something. I think vegans use it to bind it together a bit without having dairy products. That's another thing maybe to look up. I mean, you can make an oat based thing, a vegan waffle with mashed up banana, porridge oats, and I can't remember, sugar maybe, but there's plenty of things you can do out there. I'm pretty sure you can put like mashed potato in there. I have tried it, it didn't come out too well, but it did come out alright actually. It's a bit like, well, over in the UK you can buy potato waffles. I also tried something else in there which came out very well, but I'm not going to say what that is yet because I'm going to do a video of what it is, because I think it might be the first one on YouTube to do it, so you'll have to keep your eyes open for that. The build quality, I'm not too impressed with it really, but it's a good machine, I like it, but the feet came off once when I was cleaning it, and so I had to, well, I had some clear silicone bath sealant that I've stuck them back in with. The lid is a bit wonky, it's not going to fall out or anything, but it's not done to specific tolerances. There it is, it's on now, it's 150, and I started to watch late, so okay, so it's ready. So this is how I grease it, just a couple of squirts of that, and then get the basting brush. You don't want to use a normal plastic bristled brush or horsehair or whatever they use. I don't know what they use for old-fashioned brushes, because that will just melt on the thing, and these silicone ones obviously take a lot of heat. So I use a soup ladle to put it in there, and you have to just guess it really. If you put too much, it will just spill out the side when it's cooking. I think I have got too much. and you put it in there for about 3 to 4 minutes, I think. Oops, better start. I did mention in the comments on my other video that when you put this on for the first time, sometimes you can see a bit of smoke coming out and it smells of burning wires, which panicked me, and I had to turn it off and thought I was going to have to take it back, but it does actually say in the instructions that on the first time that's a normal thing. During first use you may notice a slight smell. There may also be minimal smoke. This is normal and dissipates after a short time. Ensure sufficient ventilation, for instance by opening a window. So if I'd read that bit first I probably wouldn't have panicked. So I'm from the UK, so we've got the 3-pin 13 amp 240 volt sockets. I'm sure they probably do them for other countries with different configurations. Yeah, I like the Jamie Oliver recipe because it doesn't have much sugar in, but then I do end up plastering them with like chocolate spread or maple syrup flavour syrup. I guess you could put peanut butter on them. Anything, I suppose. Probably even Marmite if you wanted to. The thing my nieces like the best is ice cream. A couple of scoops of ice cream on top. I don't think I've judged it too badly. There is a bit of overspill, but not too much. But the trouble is, if you put too little batter in there, then it doesn't fill out the whole square, the whole grid, which isn't an issue for me really. I quite like the not so perfect looking one. Okay, so that's coming up on 4 minutes now. I'm pretty sure it said 3 to 4, not 4 to 5. I can't remember now. But, so this is 4 minutes. I'll have a look at it now. Yeah, I'd say they're done. That's what they look like. They're very hot. That's what I mean about them being imperfect, because you've got little. So anyway, I'll count that as no need to re-oil, just give it another brush around. Okay, so I've got a problem now. They're kind of stuck in there because I obviously didn't put enough. So if you use a spatula, you can just get there without burning your hands and just prise it up. So that's how you get it out if you haven't quite given it enough oil. Top ones aren't quite as important as getting as much oil on because, well, obviously gravity, they sit on the bottom, so that's where it's going to need it the most. Actually got a clip on the handle, so when you shut it down it locks to the bottom one, so that when it as it's cooking it expands and it tries to push the lid up, but this kind of stops it, but it still can spill out the side. Right, so I think I'll probably cut it there. It's nearly 10 minutes now and you've seen the first batch. Thank you to Crystal Tea for recommending me to do this. I hope this is what you're after. Alright, thanks, bye. I think I've messed up the recipe somehow. Either I must have reset the scales halfway through putting flour in, or I don't know, but I'm sure usually with the 150 gram flour recipe, I'm sure I only get about 6 waffles out. I've got 8 there. I've eaten 2 already. There's 2 in there, and I've got a bowl with some still left in it. So something I've done wrong. I do want to do a recipe one time with like a Victoria sponge recipe, which is about equal flour, marge, sugar and milk, eggs, and I think that would come out quite well in there, although it would be hard to get out of the, yeah, actually it would be quite brittle. Maybe not such a good idea.